true. Farmer Bob loves reading stories, yes sirree. And he loves reading stories to all who please. So join him and his buddies for so grand a time. Once you see us, you'll tune in all the time. Come see, meet me, much fun. Now's done, read us a book. Come, take a look. The Barnyard is the place. See you there.
Boy, I'm bored. There's nothing to do.
Me too. We could eat something. Wilber, we just ate a little while ago.
You know what? When I'm bored, I just make believe something.
That's a great idea, Patrick. We all have imaginations.
Farmer Bob, want to know what I imagine I am?
I don't know, Wilber. What?
I wish I was a winner of the Kentucky Derby. All the people would cheer for me and take pictures at the end.
That's neat, Wilber. When I want to pretend, I think I'm an airplane pilot. Flying a big plane.
Those are both very good ideas, buddies. Hey, Clayton, what about you?
I pretend I'm an astronaut, floating in space.
Wow, that sounds like fun, Clayton. I always wanted to be a race car driver. Vroom, vroom, vroom.
All those are great ideas of what to pretend about. This week, I have a book on fairy tales, make-believe stories.
Can we read it now, Farmer Bob? Please?
Yeah,
come on, let's read it.
Let's
Woo!
hear it.
All right, today's story is called The Bremen Musicians.
What is it about, Farmer Bob?
Well, this story is about a donkey, a dog, a cat, and a rooster who are all traveling to the city of Bremen to become musicians.
All by themselves?
What do you mean, Chelsea?
What Chelsea means is that when we go places, you are always with us.
Their farmer lets them travel alone? That's not safe.
Oh, my buddies, these animals are all grown up.
Oh, now I get it. Okay.
And they aren't from the same farm. They meet each other on the way.
Okay, let's start the story.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Farmer Bob.
Hold on a second. I have an idea. There are 4 animals in the story and 4 of you buddies.
Yes, you're right.
Patrick, do you know what sound a dog makes?
Sure I do. They sound like this. Woof, 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 woof.
Good. This is my idea. Every time an animal makes their noise in the story, you guys can say it for them.
You mean Patrick could be the voice of the dog, and Wilber could be the donkey?
I could be the rooster.
And Clayton could be the voice of the cat.
It's just like a game.
It sounds real fun. Let's do it. Yeah, that's a good idea.
The Bremen Musicians. There was once a donkey who lived on a farm. He earned his oats and hay by carting sacks of wheat from the fields to the mill, where it was ground into flour. When the donkey grew too old and weary for such a task, he decided to leave the farm and go to live in the nearby town of Bremen. He thought he might become a street musician there. He could entertain the townspeople with old sounds he had learned and use the coins they would toss him for food and lodging. He had not traveled far when he saw a dog lying near the road. "How now, Fred?" said the donkey. "I've been running away," said the dog. "I have grown too old to hunt, and I wish to try something new." "Why not come with me?" asked the donkey. "I'm going to try my luck as a musician in Bremen. Dogs have powerful voices, so perhaps you could do the same." The dog liked the idea. "But I'm too tired to walk all the way to Bremen," he said with a sigh. "Hop up onto my back, and we can practice our singing as long as we go along," said the donkey. Each time the donkey said, "ee-ah, ee-ah," the dog would bark, "Woof, woof, woof, woof." Not long after, they met a sad and sorry cat. The frown on her face was as long as a lonesome road in winter. "What is the matter?" asked the donkey. "I am getting old," said the cat, "and I cannot catch mice anymore. I ran away to try something new, but I don't know which way to go." "Everyone knows cats are good at serenading," said the donkey. "Come with us to Bremen. I am sure you can become a musician there." The cat agreed. She hopped onto the dog's back, and she joined her companions in practicing their music. The donkey said, "ee-ah, ee-ah." The dog barked, "Woof, woof, woof, woof," and the cat sang,
"Meow."
After traveling some distance, the three animals came to a farmyard. On the gate, a woe-begone rooster perched, his head hanging low. "What makes you so sad?" asked the donkey. "I am getting too old to greet the dawn," replied the rooster, "but I still have plenty of singing left in me. I heard you singing on your way, and I want to join in." "Well," said the donkey, "we are going to Bremen to become musicians. Since you have such a fine loud voice, why don't you come along with us?" The rooster agreed. He hopped up on top of the cat's head. Then they all practiced in harmony. The donkey sang. "Ee-aw, ee-aw." The dog barked. The cat sang. "Meow." And the rooster crowed. They could not reach Bremen that day, so they decided to spend the night in the woods. The donkey and the dog lay down under a large tree. The cat nestled in the branches, and the rooster flew up to the very top. Before they fell asleep, the rooster saw a light in the distance. "There must be a house over there," he said. "Let us go and look," said the donkey. "There may be shelter and food for us." The dog hopped onto the donkey's back. The cat climbed onto the dog's back, and the rooster clambered up to stand on the donkey's head. The donkey walked toward the light, carrying his friends. The light was coming from a lamp inside a cozy little cottage. The donkey stopped at the window. They all looked in. They saw a table laid out with plenty to eat, and a group of raccoons enjoying themselves. There were sacks of stolen grain lying all around the room. "Robbers by the look of them," said the hound. "I wish we could get inside," said the donkey. "It looks warm and cozy." "And just look at that vegetable stew," exclaimed the cat. "Yum," said the rooster. The dog drooled. "I am very hungry." "Maybe they would give us some supper if they liked our singing," said the donkey. He stood up against the windowsill, and the companions all began to perform their music. The donkey sang. "Ee-aw, ee-aw." The dog barked. The cat sang. "Meow." And the rooster crowed. The window rattled with the sound. The robbers fled in terror. "They must have liked our music," said the donkey. "See all the good food they left for us?" The musicians went inside and ate their fill of the robbers' feast. When the four musicians had finished eating, each found a comfortable sleeping place for himself. The donkey lay down on the floor. The dog crouched behind the door. The cat curled up on the hearth, and the rooster perched under the eaves. Soon they all fell asleep. The robbers were watching the house from a distance. Now they were getting soaked by rain. "We should not have run away," said one robber. "I will go back and see if it is safe." The robber went into the cottage. In the darkness, the cat's fiery eyes looked like burning coals. When the robber came close, the cat leapt up at him and hissed. As the robber rushed to the door, the dog sprang up and barked at him. The robber bumped into the donkey, who brayed and stamped. All the while, the rooster cried with all his might. The terrified robber ran back to his companions as fast as his little legs would carry him. "There are wild things in that house," he told them. "One flew at me and hissed. Then one by the door growled. A monster screamed and pounded the earth, and up above sat a ghost who cried, 'Catch the scoundrel-do.'" The robbers ran away and never came back. It so happened that the cottage belonged to a farmer who had long wished to chase away the robbers who stole from him. When he came by in the morning to scare the robbers, he heard the musicians singing. He peered through the window and saw the four friends sitting around the table and enjoying their music. The donkey sang. "Ee-aw, ee-aw." The dog barked. The cat sang. "Meow." And the rooster crowed. "That sound will keep the robbers away," the farmer called through the window. "Stay here as long as you like. I'm getting too old to chase robbers." The four musicians liked their new home, and there they remained, making music to their heart's content. The end.
That was a great book, Farmer Bob.
Can we read another one, Farmer Bob?
Yeah, can we?
Well, first I thought I'd show you all how to make a craft by using your imaginations. Hello, boys and girls. Today, we're going to learn how to make a craft by using our imaginations. But first, we have to listen to the following rhyme so we can understand what the craft is about. The rhyme is as follows. The world is full of many wonderful things, and this is what it would be like if I were a king. Okay, now listen to the rhyme. We're going to show what our world would have if we could have it the way we wanted it. So, first we're going to need a few simple supplies. First off, we need a yellow piece of construction paper, a box of crayons, some rubber cement for gluing the pictures onto the construction paper, and a variety of magazines so that we can rip out whatever we want to put in our world. Okay, first thing is to get one crayon and draw a nice big circle on the paper so that you can see what your world's going to look like. So I'm going to draw a really big circle. Okay, this is what my circle looks like. Next, I'm going to get another crayon, a different color, and I'm going to write my name and world at the bottom. This way people will know whose world this is. Okay, now as you can see, it says Farmer Bob's World across the bottom. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the magazines and pull out pictures to put in the side of the circle to show what's in our world. Now, I already went ahead and, as you can see, yanked out a bunch of the pictures that I wanted to put in my world. The first picture I got is a picture of a tractor. Well, I like this picture because it reminded me of the tractor that I get to drive around on the farm. So first, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back. And I'm just going to press it down so that it will stay inside the circle. Okay, next, I'm going to take another picture. Okay, this is a picture of a little yellow bird. I got this one because it reminded me of Chelsea, the chicken, that also hangs out around the barn during the shows. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this. And I'm just going to press it right there. As you can see, so far I've got the picture of my tractor and a picture of the yellow bird, and I'm overlapping them a little bit, this way that all the pictures will fit on that I want. And as long as I overlap it at the corners, it won't cover up any of the other pictures. Okay. The next picture I got is a picture of a salad. I got this picture because it shows me all the nice vegetables that I get to grow around the farm. So, again, I'm going to take some glue. I'm just going to smear it on the back. I'm going to set it right down here next to the tractor. The next picture I got is a picture of the deer. Okay, I like this picture because it reminds me of all the nice animals that come around that I get to feed around the farm. So I'm going to put him in there too. So I'm going to take a little glue, put it on the back of the picture. Smear it around. Put it right over there. As you can see, so far I have a picture of the yellow bird, the tractor, the salad with the vegetables, and the deer, which reminds me of all the animals that come around the farm. The next picture I have is a picture of two dogs. I like this picture because it reminds me of all the dogs that hang around on the farm. So I'm going to take some more glue, rub it on the back, and press it right down over there. The next picture I got is a bundle of carrots. I also got this one because it reminds me of all the food that I collect around the farm. So I'm going to take some more glue, rub it on the back. Put it right up there. The next picture I have is another picture of a dog. And I also got this one because it reminds me of one of the dogs that hangs around the barn. So, I'm going to put some glue on the back of it. Put it right up there. So far, as you can see, I have a lot of pictures in here, but I'm trying to conserve room. This way I can put more over in the other corner. I have a couple of the animals, some of the food, and the tractor and the bird. Okay, so the next picture I have is a picture of a rose. I got this one because it reminds me of all the flowers that I have along the side of my barn. So I'm going to put this one in there too. Okay, where's this right there? Well, the world can be filled with whatever you want. I'm just putting these in because these are what my world would consist of. Okay, the next picture I have is a picture of a house. I got this one because it reminds me of the house that I get to live in around the farm. So, I'm going to put some glue in the back. I'm going to put this one right there. Sometimes when I'm working around the farm, I get really thirsty. So the next picture I have is a picture of something to drink. I got this one because it's always nice to have something to drink on a really hot day. So, I'm going to put some glue on the back. And put this one right over there. The next picture I have is a picture of fruit. This picture is filled of like oranges and apples and all kinds of other fruit. I got this one because it reminds me of all the trees that hang around the farm. I got this one because I collect them and then I sell them and people eat them. So, put some glue on the back. Okay, the last picture I got is the picture of a baseball glove. I got this one because I like to go out and play ball out in the fields. So, I'm going to put some glue on the back of this one. I'm going to set it right there. Okay. Now, after the glue is dry, your thing will look like this. It'll be nice and dry and the pictures won't fall off. Now, this is all the wonderful things that my world would be full of if I was the king. So now you can go ahead and draw your own circle and put everything else that you would think that would be in your world if you were a king. Okay, that's our craft for this time. So let's go back to the show. Are you guys ready for the next story?
We get to hear another one.
Yes, you do. It's a special treat because you've been so good today.
Oh, yeah!
What's this one about?
More musicians?
Soldiers? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Farm animals?
No, this story's about a king, a queen, and their daughter. It's called The Sleeping Beauty.
I've heard this one. This is the one with the evil fairy who curses the baby princess and the whole kingdom while the fairy sleeps.
Chelsea, that makes no sense at all. Yeah, what are you talking about?
Chelsea has the story right, guys.
She does?
Yes, she's just leaving out a few of the details.
I was just summing it up.
Why don't we begin? The Sleeping Beauty. In a land far away, there lived a king and a queen who said every day, "If only we had a child." But they had none. At last, the queen had a little girl who was so beautiful that the king could not contain himself for joy, and he prepared a great feast. He invited his relatives, friends, and acquaintances, and also the fairies, hoping they might bless his child.
Farmer Bob, what is a fairy?
A fairy is a little person who has wings and has magic.
Really? Have you seen one?
No, silly. Fairies are only make-believe.
Oh, okay.
7 of them were invited, and the king had 7 golden plates made for them to eat from. There was an 8th fairy in the land, but she was very old, and as no one had seen her for a long time, she had begun to be forgotten. She appeared at the feast, but there was no golden plate for her. One fairy, seeing the old one's anger at this, hid behind a curtain to watch what would happen.
Is she scared?
I think she might be.
I'd be scared.
When the feast came to an end, the fairies were each to present the child with a magical gift. The first gave her beauty, the second gave her wisdom, the third gave her sweetness, the fourth a charming voice to sing with, the fifth grace to dance with, the 6th fairy gave her the gift of skill to work with. The old fairy then stood up and called out in a loud voice, "Here is my gift. In her 15th year, the princess shall prick herself on a spindle and fall lifeless to the floor." And without another word, she turned and left the hall.
What an awful birthday present!
No, it definitely was not nice at all.
Everyone was terror-stricken, but the 7th fairy, whose wish was still unspoken, stepped from behind the curtain. She could not cancel the curse, but she could soften it. She said, "It shall be just a deep sleep, lasting but 100 years." The king was anxious to guard his dear child from this misfortune. He commanded that all the spindles in the whole kingdom be burned. As time went on, all the promises of the fairies came true. The princess grew up to be so beautiful, wise, sweet, and clever that everyone who saw her could not but love her. It happened that on the very day when she was 15 years old, the king and the queen were away from home, and the princess was left quite alone in the castle. She wandered about, and at last came to an old tower. She went up a winding staircase and reached a little door. She pushed it open. She found a little room where an old woman sat with a spindle.
Oh, no!
"Good day," said the princess. "What are you doing?" "I am spinning," said the old woman. "What is that thing that whirls around?" asked the princess. She reached for the spindle and pricked her finger.
She's in for it now.
She dropped onto a nearby bed and fell asleep. This same deep sleep spread over the whole castle. When the king and the queen came home and stepped into the hall, they fell fast asleep. All of the servants slept too. Ladybugs and bumblebees on a vine in the courtyard fell asleep, as did the butterflies on the roof and the flies on the wall.
I'm getting sleepy myself.
Around the castle, a thick hedge of briar roses began to grow.
What's a briar rose?
Oh, a briar rose is a plant that has beautiful red rose on it, but it also has thorns too.
So that's bad.
Well, yeah, because people can't get in to help the people inside the castle.
Oh, okay.
Every year, for 100 years, it grew thicker and thicker, higher and higher, until at last it covered the whole castle. The people living nearby told the story of the lovely, sleeping briar rose, as the king's daughter was now called. After 100 years, a prince came to the country and heard an old man tell of the castle that stood behind the briar hedge, in which a beauty called Briar Rose was asleep. The young prince said, "I wish to go and look upon the lovely Briar Rose." Now, this was the day when Briar Rose was to wake up again. When the prince approached the briar hedges, its thickly entwined branches parted, making way for him to enter. In the courtyard, he saw ladybugs and bumblebees sleeping on a honeysuckle vine. Butterflies lost in their dreams were perched on the roof. When he went into the castle, the flies were asleep on the wall. By the throne lay the king and the queen. At last he reached the tower and opened the door into the little room where Briar Rose was asleep. There she lay, looking so beautiful that he could not take his eyes off her. He bent down and gave her a gentle kiss. As he touched her, Briar Rose opened her eyes and looked lovingly at him. Then they went down from the tower together, and the king, the queen, and all the courtiers woke up and looked at each other with astonished eyes. The ladybugs began moving about, and the bumblebees crept in and out of the sweet honeysuckle blossoms. The butterflies on the roof fluttered and flew away. The flies on the wall began to buzz. The prince and the princess Briar Rose were soon married. The wedding was celebrated with much splendor, and they lived happily ever after. The end.
Wow, Farmer Bob, that one was even better than the first.
Yeah, that one was a good one.
I think I'm going to go inside and start to use my imagination. Me too, Farmer Bob.
That's a great idea. Why don't we all go inside the barn and use our imaginations? Well, that's our show for this time. See you later. Bye.
Bye.